Dear learners, welcome to this lecture on operations management. This is unit 15 in block 4 of your course TS3. In this lecture, we will talk about the introduction to operations management. In this lecture, we will understand the meaning of operations, means what is the meaning of operations. We will also understand the concept of operations management. Then we will try to understand the differences between service and product organization operations, and we will understand the operations management function in tourism organizations. So first of all, let us start with the basics. What is production? Production is the process through which an organization creates goods and services. The essential character of production function is to bring together the human resources, financial resources, physical resources and technology to produce goods or services in order to satisfy the needs of the target consumers in a way that is profitable for the organization. In other words, production is the process through which an organization creates its goods or services for the use of target market. Next, what is operation? Operation refers to the ways in which an organization converts the inputs into outputs. What can be the inputs? In other words, operations refers to the ways in which an organization transforms resources, that is the financial, human, physical, technological, etc. into goods and services. Means what are the inputs? Inputs are the various resources. These resources can be financial resources in terms of money. These resources can be human resources, that is the people or the employees. Then there can be physical resources, that the land, machinery, etc. and the technology. So these are all inputs. They get transformed into goods or services by way of operations. Thus, operation can be also termed as the purposeful activities of an organization, where every operation adds value to some entity through variety of means, which may include the change in forum. The change in forum, it can be physical or sensual, or state of inputs, or through change in the location, etc. So the operations, they are basically the purposeful activities of an organization. Means these are the activities which has a purpose, and with every operation there is some value addition to the entity. This value addition, it can be through various means. These means, it can include the change in forum. For example, the flour and the wheat, the flour and the sugar, they can be converted into sweets by the way of operations, and these are the manufacturing operations. So in case of operations, there are some activities wherein the value is added to various inputs. Now this diagram, it explains the operations process. See, we can see the inputs. There are various resources: human resources, physical resources, financial resources, technological resources, and there can be information resources. So these all resources, they constitute the inputs. Then there is external business environment, and then there is the transformation process. In the transformation process, there are various operations and value addition to the inputs. After this transformation process, there we get the outputs in terms of the services and goods. So we can see that the operations is simply the process wherein the input resources, they are converted into the output resources. And in the operations process, there is some value addition. All this process, it takes in the takes under external environment. So if there are any changes in the external environment, then operations process get also changed. See, let us try to understand the meaning of operations with some examples. There can be some goods producing operations, and what are the examples? The farming industry, the mining industry, the construction industry, the manufacturing industry, etc. See, let us take the example of construction industry. We can have various inputs, like we can have brick, we can have cement, we can have the iron rods, and all these, they go through the value addition, and then we get a particular building. So this is basically the goods producing operation. Then there can be storage or transportation operations. The examples can be warehousing, trucking, mail services, taxis, buses, airlines, etc. Here the value added is by change in the location. If a particular item is imported and it is on the it is imported and it is on a particular airport or on a port, then if it is transported to the market, there is a value addition. So what kind of operation here is? It is transportation operation. Then there can be exchange operations in case of leasing, in case of library and loans. What exactly we do in library? We exchange the books. So these are the exchange operations. Then there can be entertainment operations. The example can be films, radio, televisions, etc. Then there can be communication operations, and the examples can be newspaper, radio, telephones, etc. What the newspapers basically they do? They communicate the news from one point to another point, and this is the communication operations. So what is common in all these type of operations? There are some inputs, then by the way of these operations there is some value addition, there is some transformation, and then there are some outputs in the terms of goods or services. See, the transformation process, it can be of multiple types. Let us see some examples. In case of physical transformation, it happens in the manufacturing industry. We have taken the example of the construction industry, wherein the inputs, that is brick, mortar, cement, etc., they were physically transformed into a building. Then there can be locational transformations, and it happens in the transportation industry. For example, when we post the letters, what we exactly want? We want the value addition by way of change in its location. Or if a product is imported at a particular airport or a port, then if it is transported to the market, then there is a value addition, and this value addition is on the basis of the locational change or locational transformation. There can be exchange transformation by the way of retailing. There can be storage transformation by the way of warehousing. There can be physiological transformation in case of healthcare. There can be informational transformation in case of telecommunications. There can be psychological transformation in case of entertainment industries. So in operations, we have spoken about the transformation in the inputs to get the output goods or services. The transformations can be of various types. We have spoken of these transformations and their examples. Now let us take another example for the entire operations process of a hospital. What are the input elements in case of a hospital? There can be doctors, nurses, hospital building and equipments. There can be medical supplies. There can be laboratories. These all are the inputs in case of a hospital. And what is the processing done in a hospital? There can be various examinations, there can be a surgery, medication, then there can be monitoring, and there can be various therapies. These are the processing. And what is the output? We get the healthy patients. So this is basically the operations process in case of a hospital, where the inputs after due processing they get converted into outputs. Let us take another example of a tour operator. In case of a tour operator, what are the inputs? The inputs are the destinations and monuments, various attractions. Then the inputs are the hotel room blocks, airline ticket blocks. These are all inputs. And what is the processing? The itinerary design and planning, booking requests and confirmations. This is the processing done at the end of the tour operator. And what are the outputs? We get a tour package. So this is the transformation process that takes place in the tour operator's office, where various inputs, that is destination, attraction, monument, hotel and airline tickets, they are processed by the way of itinerary planning. Then we send the booking request, get the confirmations, and a confirmed tour package is what we get as output. It is basically the services. So with this, I hope the basic concept of operations is cleared, where we talk about the inputs, then processing and the outputs. Now what is operations management? So operations, we have spoken about, part of the business organization responsible for producing goods or services by transforming the inputs into outputs, that we have cleared. Now the operations management, it is the business function responsible for planning, coordinating and controlling the resources which are needed for the production of goods or services of an organization. It is the management of systems or processes which creates goods or provide the services. So operations management is simply the business function which is responsible for what? Planning, coordinating and controlling the resources which are required for the production of goods and services. Now the operations management, it refers to the complex set of management activities involved in planning, organizing, directing and controlling and the organization's operations. Means operations management is simply the management activity which involves the planning, organizing, directing and controlling the organization's operations. Operations management is basically a management function. Then it is also an organization's core function. What are other core functions of an organization? They are marketing, finance and human resources. Along with these core functions, operations management is also the core function of the organization, because it is only with the operations function the inputs they are converted into outputs. Now the operations management is applicable to every organization, whether service or manufacturing organization, profit or non-profit organization. Means the operations management has the relevance for every type of organization. The organization, it can be a manufacturing firm, it can be a service firm. The organization, it can be for profit or for non-profit. Even for the non-profit organizations, the operations management is equally important. Now the quality of goods or services produced by an organization depends on the efficiency of its operations. It is the responsibility of the operations manager that the operations are managed in a way that ensures the best possible quality of goods and services at least cost. The quality of goods produced and services delivered and effectiveness and efficiency of an organization take shapes through its operations only. So we have spoken that operations management is the process by which the operations are managed. And what are the operations? These are the purposeful activities by which inputs they are converted into the outputs. So operations management deals with managing the operations in an effective manner. So the operations management helps an organization in improving its efficiency by producing high quality goods or services. Second, it meets the consumer's competitive priorities in terms of price, quality, quantity and time. What is the meaning of competitive priorities? Means on these basis the consumer decides about purchasing a particular product or service from competitive businesses. Means the business which is offering low price, high quality and right quantity at right time. So the consumer is likely to buy from that particular business. In the today's business environment, there is a lot of competition. So the operations management, it helps in meeting the consumer's competitive priorities. And what are the competitive priorities of the customer? He wants the good quality goods in right quantity at right time and at lowest possible or affordable prices. Therefore, the operations management has performance objective in terms of quality and quantity of goods as well as cost objectives in terms of prices affordable to customers. So the operations manager has to ensure not only that the quality of goods and the quantity of goods or services they are up to the mark, but also the operations manager has the cost objective that he need to provide these high quality and right quantity of goods and services at the prices which are affordable to the customer or at the prices which are justifiable in the perception of the customer. So the transformational role of operations management. Operations management transforms by way of adding value. And what is the meaning of adding value? It is simply by increasing the product value at each stage. Means the inputs they passes through various stages and at each stage the value is increased. Value added, it is simply the net increase between output product value and inputs material value. Means there will be some value of the input and there will be some value of the output. The difference between them is the value added. Second, the operations management, it provides an efficient transformation. And what is the meaning of efficiency here? Efficiency simply means performing the activities in best manner at the least cost. Means performing the activities or performing the operational activities in the manner that is best, means which is giving the right quantity and right quality and even at the least cost. So we have seen that operations is simply the process by which inputs are converted into outputs, and operations management deals with this process by which these inputs are converted into outputs. Also, this operations management has two objectives. One is performance objective in terms of quality and quantity, means the right quality and right quantity of goods are produced, as well as the operations management has the cost objectives, means the goods so produced they should also be at right prices which the customer can afford. Now there are two type of organizations, one is manufacturing and one are service organizations. Both of them they differs considerably. Manufacturing and service organizations they differ for the reason that manufacturing is goods or product oriented and services they are act oriented. In case of manufacturing organizations there is a tangible output, while delivery of services refers to performance of an act. It is very clear that in case of manufacturing organization there is a tangible product which is given to the consumer or which is produced at the end, while in case of services there is simply the performance of an act, there is no tangible product. These service job categories they can be further categorized into various types, such as there can be financial services by banks, there can be insurance services, there can be health services, there can be travel services. Means there can be various categories within the service organizations on the basis of kind of the services they provide. If the services are related to money and finance, it can be financial services, there can be insurance services, there can be health services provided by the medical and health facilities like hospitals, etc. There can be travel related services provided by the travel agents and tour operators. Then what are the differences between goods and services? So first is customer contact. In case of goods production operations, the customer contact is minimum, while in case of service delivery operation, the customer contact is high. Rather, the customers are part of service delivery process. See, let us take the example of a restaurant. So when the food is produced in the kitchen, the customer contact is minimum, but when the food is served, then the customer contact, then the efficiency of waiter, it also depends on the customer's attitude. So in case of service delivery, the customers they are equally participant, while in case of goods production, the customers their contact is minimum, they are not contacted or there is no contact from the customers at the production stage. Second, uniformity of input. In case of goods, the input components they remain almost identical, while in case of service delivery, since there are human elements involved at the input level, there is far less uniformity as compared to goods production inputs. See, in case of goods, there can be inputs which the input component which remains almost identical, means there is no change in the input components. Whereas in case of services, the input are the human element, means the services are provided by the person's labor content. In case of goods production operations, the labor content is relatively low, as a lot of work is done through machines also. While in case of services, due to human element involved, labor content is quite high. Though with new technologies, even in case of services, labor content is being reduced. For example, now we are using the robots in hotels and restaurants or at the check-in counters at the airports. So when we are using the machines, we are also reducing the labor content in case of services. Though in general, the goods they are produced by robotic machines and the human labor content is less. Next is uniformity of output. In case of goods, the output remains almost uniform. However, in case the services, the output does not remain identical. For example, the check-in experience at the same hotel with the same staff can differ greatly. See, in case of goods, since the inputs they are almost identical, we have spoken in the second point. So since the inputs they are almost identical, the output is almost uniform. However, in case of services, since the input is not identical always, so the output also is not uniform. Within the same hotel with the same staff, our check-in experience can differ greatly, because sometime it may happen that the staff is doing overshift, so he may not be that much efficient every time. So then there can be the uniformity in output. Another aspect is nature of output. In case of goods production, the output is tangible with a physical form to touch and feel. However, in case of services, there is always an intangible output. The goods, they are always tangible, and services by very nature they are always intangible. Then the measurement of productivity. In case of goods, productivity it can be measured in quantitative terms. However, it is very much difficult in case of services. For example, in case of a hotel, it is possible to measure how many persons were checked in by a receptionist at a hotel, but how efficient the check-ins were, it is difficult to put in numbers. In case of a hotel, we can check the number of the guests that were checked in by a particular reception staff, but what was the efficiency of the staff during each and every check-in, we cannot put this efficiency into the numbers. Then there is opportunity to correct problems. In case of the goods, there is always an opportunity to correct problems. Like for example, we come across the news items when we read that automobile manufacturing companies, they recall some of specific vehicles if any manufacturing defect is found even after the sales. However, in case of services, since they are produced and consumed at the same time, the opportunity to correct problems is not available. For example, the damage done to customer service because of improper behaviors from service personnel is quite hard to undone. Then there is inventory management. Inventory basically refers to three items, that is raw material, goods in process and finished goods. In case of production of goods, inventory management is comparatively easier than service, for which the inventory is the trained human resources. For example, in case of a restaurant, it is easier to maintain the inventory in terms of raw material for preparing the food items, rather than maintaining the equally trained service staff for upcoming peak season. The demand fluctuations in service industries like tourism also makes it very challenging for the organizations to maintain the service inventory. The next is evaluation. In case of goods, evaluation for quality and quantity is easier because of their tangible nature. But in case of services, the evaluation of quality becomes difficult on account of intangible nature and subjectivity associated. For example, for the same guide or escort, one can have the excellent as well as the poor feedback from two different groups of foreign tourists traveling the same itinerary. So we cannot evaluate him effectively. Next is patentable. In case of goods, the production process can be patented and it can be legally protected from copying by the competitors. Pharma organizations, pharma companies, they always get their new formulations patented against any copying from the competitors. However, such type of legal protection is hard to achieve in case of service organizations. Rather, the industry peers, they follow their service leaders for achieving the excellence in their service operations. Means for example, the lower category hotels, they try to copy the service practices in service leader organizations like Taj and Oberoi Group. Now, what are the challenges in managing the service operations? Service jobs are less structured as compared to manufacturing. In case of automobile organization, a person working at the paint bay of assembly line will do the same paint work again and again. But a waiter in a restaurant may have to serve different kind of foods in different kind of sitting styles to different kind of people, thus making his job less structured as compared to the paint worker. Next is customer contact is much higher in case of service jobs. Rather, customer is an equal participant in case of the service delivery process. Then service delivery is more dependent on soft skills of the employees as compared to manufacturing, where more focus is on the technical skills. Services in case of tourism are like adding many new workers in the entry level positions. The employee turnover is comparatively high in case of low skill jobs. Then the service performance can be adversely affected by many extraneous variables which are not controllable, like the employee and customer attitudes. Then what are the type of decisions that basically we take in the operations management? There are two type of decisions. One is strategic decisions. These decisions are broad in scope, they are of long-term nature and all-encompassing, means they deal with all the departments or the entire organization. For example, in case of a travel agency, the operations manager has to take a decision with regard to what new core products to be added or deleted in order to maintain the competitiveness of the organization or in order to remain ahead of the competition. Now, this is the decision which deals with each and every department of the organization, and it has the broad scope. It is in long term nature. The second is the tactical decisions. These decisions, they are narrow in scope, they are short term in nature, and they concern a small group of issues. For example, a transport operations manager has to make decisions with regard to handling the exceptionally large number of airport arrivals on a particular day. So this is basically the tactical decision. This is short term in nature, means this deals with one particular day and one particular department. So in this lecture, we have spoken about the definition of operations. Then we have discussed about the operations management. Then we have discussed about the various types of operations, various types of transformations. Also, we have spoken about the differences between service and product organizations, and we have spoken about the types of operations management decisions. Thank you.